Good afternoon, everybody. Very happy to see you again. I think everybody came with a good homework. Okay, so as usual, we have been studying Lamrim for quite a long time. The study in Lamrim or study Dharma, practice of Lamrim or practice of Dharma, we should not practice this, we should not study as a culture, as a tradition. We should think, I need to practice, I want to practice Dharma because the Dharma, the teaching, and particularly Lamrim, is very important for me to be happy this life. Also, it's very important for me to have a happiness in next life. Not only this and next life, it is so important to, achieve the lasting happiness. When you think this way, then you can see, then you can feel it. You can feel, yes, study Dharma is very important, because if I properly, correctly study Lamrim and Dharma, I can be happy, very happy in this life. I will be very happy in next life. Not only happy, in this and next life, I will be, happy forever when I become a Buddha. That means study Dharma. We should not study as a culture, as a tradition. We should study as a very important, like a factor. Then, next, if Dharma is very important to be happy and to be happy next life, also have a lasting happiness for, forever. So now, how I can practice? The study Dharma and practice Dharma is big difference. And study Lamrim, practice Lamrim is also big difference. Study, you open the book, you read all the words, all the quotation, and you try to understand, try to get the meaning. That means you are studying, you are not practicing. For example, before you go to somewhere, you need a map. When you have the map, so you will study very precisely, about where you're going, but you are not still going. So when you really, walking towards the place where you wanted to go, that means you look like you are practicing, Dharma. That means we must open the books, any kinds of Dharma books. We try to understand the meaning. We try to get, the correct meaning. Not only that, most important one, we must practice. We must practice. So study, then, reflection the meaning, reflect on the meaning, and try to practice as much as you can your daily basis. Then you can feel, you can see your friends are more happy than before, or you can feel yourself, I am more happy than the last year. If you don't, really practice the Dharma, just only study, you cannot see, you cannot feel, I am more happier than last year. You cannot see, I have a, less distraction mind than the last year, because you are just only study, not practicing. Okay, make sure whatever you study, you practice it. So practice, one way, one hand, you can think is very difficult. On the another hand, is not that difficult. For example, so right now we are, study Lamrim. The Lamrim is mainly, emphasize how to practice the Mahayana path. So how we can practice the Mahayana path? How we can practice Bodhisattva's path? One is very simple, because one is difficult, because we don't really, study very properly. Also, we don't study for long time. We don't try to understand the meaning. When we try to understand the meaning, even though when we understood the meaning, we never try to install in our mind. So when you close the book, you don't remember anything. That's why we feel it's very difficult to practice of Dharma. Right? When you close the book, that means you close your mind. That means please everybody, study very properly. You study properly, very systematic way, very correct way, then for you very easy to remember all the meanings. When you close the book, when you close the Lamrim book, still you have all the memories, all the meaning in your mind. If you don't study very systematically, very properly, very precisely, then you don't have anything in your mind. That's why you feel it's so difficult to practice of Dharma. And also, another reason you feel is so difficult to practice Dharma, because when you try to practice, you always confront, you always, have, emotional or mental problems. It's not only talking about, you are mentally ill, you are not mentally healthy, no. For example, when you practice compassion, suddenly, you can meet someone who always make you angry. Then you cannot practice compassion. When you try to practice, ethical discipline, so you cannot practice because you can see, sometimes there's so many other external problems or external obstacles. Because those problems we can have because we don't practice for long time. So we have to practice the Dharma, slowly for a long time. Then you can feel it not that difficult, which I thought about the practices. Second, if you really practice the Dharma, Lamrim is not, that difficult. In Lamrim, what we talk about, the Lamrim talk about practice of, bodhicitta and practice of emptiness. How we can practice, how we can generate bodhicitta, then is explained, some few conditions. So before you generate or before you really practice bodhicitta, then you have to go through, two different instructions. One is instruction about, exchanging other and self. Second, you have to go through 7 cause and effect. Just we go through, the 7 cause and effect. It's explained that, step number 1, you must recognize, you must realize all sentient beings without exception, like similar, exactly like your dear mom. This is very easy to recognize, very easy to understand, because there's a limitless life. That means there's a limitless mothers. That means somehow someone all sentient being used to be our mom, dear mom. Then it's very easy to recognize all sentient being. Then second, what you must remember, their kindness, their compassion. Also very easy. Then go more deeper level. Then third step number 3, repay their kindness, repay their loving. How we can repay, their kindness and their loving? Actually, we can repay many different ways. The best, one, if you able to teach Dharma, all sentient being. If you able to, free all sentient being from samsara, able to bring all sentient being to Buddhahood or liberation, this is the best, repairing their kindness. So how we can, bring all sentient being from samsara to Buddhahood? How we can free all sentient being from samsara? You cannot, right now we don't have this ability. Then, yes, I must become a Buddha. Once you become Buddha, then you have all the energy, all the like power, all the knowledge. Then you can share your experience, your knowledge to all sentient beings. Then all sentient beings going to understand, how be free from suffering, how achieve Buddhahood. Then in order to become Buddhahood, then look at then great compassion. Not only compassion, great compassion. So I explained you, and there are many different levels of compassion. Generally, you can have a simple compassion, towards yourself. All sentient beings have a, love, compassion towards yourself. It's a very, small amount of compassion. Then this compassion you can extend towards your families, your brother and sister, or your, friends. It's become still very small. All this compassion, love towards yourself, your families, your relatives, your friends, all of them always, contaminated by attachment. I love my parents because you have an attachment to your parents. Those compassions, those love, what I named, compassion, contaminated compassion, contaminated by, attachment, or contaminated by desire. Those compassion, it makes you happy for short time, for the not long term. Or we can say, condition, love with a condition, or conditioned love. Then same, sense of longing, sense of love, you can extend towards, indifferent person. Then third, you can extend this love, this compassion towards your, the disliked person. Then very easy to extend the compassion towards all sentient beings. When you, extend your compassion towards all sentient beings, this compassion is a very pure, is not conditioned love. It is not, love with the attachment. It's the love and compassion, not the contaminated, is very pure. This means you got, the good condition to generate bodhicitta. In love and compassion, then bodhicitta. So when you able to generate great compassion, the pure compassion to all sentient beings, then very easy to generate bodhicitta. So you have to practice, bodhicitta with the, step by step. Also, you should not think, practicing, recognizing all sentient beings as your mother is very simple, very easy. It looks simple, look easy. If you really go with the practical level, it's not easy. For example, when your mom, your dear mom, your dear brother, your dear sister, your dear friend scold you, still you can be patient, right? Patient. Or someone is not don't know any. Someone is not related to you. Someone is not close to you. You don't know anything about this person. The person suddenly scold you, use very hard word. What? Then suddenly you get, angry. You cannot be patient. So, if you truly accept, purely accept all sentient beings as your dear mom, then somebody scold you, somebody look you very bad, reaction, you show the bad reaction, still you can practice patience. But we saying, all sentient beings like my dear mother, we just saying, we don't really think, those are real, like my mother, like my dear, father, my dear brother, my dearest one. Then after you generate bodhicitta, this means, you really got, one of the best condition, best factor to achieve Buddhahood. The second factor, you need to know the emptiness. You need to realize emptiness. Knowing emptiness, when you read a book, it's so difficult to understand the meaning. But if you put more effort, think, always continuously for a few months, then, you're going to understand what does mean emptiness. when you fully understood emptiness, that's when you already got most important two factors, bodhicitta and emptiness. In order to practice, in order to develop furthermore the bodhicitta and emptiness, the wisdom of emptiness, the wisdom which is realized emptiness, then you need to practice, five, prajna or five parjana paramitas or five perfections. Within the five perfections, first, generosity, perfection of generosity. We just not using simply generosity. We are not using simply, practice of giving. We say, generosity of perfection. Perfection. Then everybody, we already started it, the perfection of generosity. Then you must go step by step. Finally, there are so many details, right? The summary about perfection of generosity mean you should have everything. There's nothing wrong. You should have everything. You must have a house. Without house, how you can survive? I told you, in my village, you can sleep anywhere. In Singapore, you cannot sleep anywhere, right? Police will come and catch you, right? That's meant, particularly as a Singaporean who live in Singapore, you must need everything. You need, house, just simple house. You need a good house. Then when you have a good house, you are very comfortable. You are very happy in the house. When you are happy, you are very comfortable. Therefore, you are very comfortable to practice dharma, right? If your house is very a small, very narrow, so many things around you, when you try to practice, you cannot. Then of course you need a cars, or you need a money, you need everything. There's nothing wrong, possess all the things. But most important, you should not have a sense of clinging, sense of attachment. Always attach your mind with the possessions. You must everything, right? You have everything. For example, so do you have a sense of attachment towards the Kallang Stadium? No. But still you can go play around there, you can enjoy the place. You don't have a sense of attachment with the, the stadium. But still you can enjoy, right? Still you can use, you can go there, you can stay there, but without attachment. What's wrong when you have attachment towards your house? There's a house, and do you remember the object of attachment? What are they? House and resource. House means not talking about your house, talking about where you are living. Okay. Then look at what's wrong when you have a strong attachment, strong clinging in your, resource. Then you become look like snake. Okay, if you have a strong attachment towards your house or your place, your resource like money, car, whatever, your friend attachment, then you become look like snake. When you try to touch snake, the snake react what? Always get very angry, try to harm you, right? Then somebody touch your object, you get angry, you get upset, you are very worried about your possession. Everything arises based on attachment. So practice of generosity is explained. You should not have a attachment. You should not have a sense of clinging on your possession. Now how we can reduce? That is explained. The three circles, right? Emptiness of the object, emptiness of the subject, emptiness of the action, giver, giving, recipient, right? Then finally you need to think, I must be generous. I must share my possession with someone who need it. If I don't share, even though I don't share, I keep everything myself. It doesn't mean everything is benefit for you, everything is useful for you, right? Just this means when you open your, like a cupboard, something, of course, you just today you go back to your place, you open, all your box and cupboard. Then you can find something you never use, almost 10 years or 20 years. Right? Still we keep. Why we are keeping? Because we don't want to give away. We thought it's useful. It's useful. If you think it's useful, then everything can be useful. All the trash you should not throw away can be useful. Right? Then finally, even though I don't give away my things, then moment of the death, when I'm leaving this world, everything I have to leave behind me. Even though my body, I come with this body, I born with this body, I have with this body. Then, you can see there's no point to have a sense of clinging, sense of attachment. And another important, practicing of generosity is you are making two plans. One you use for this life, just enjoy with your possessions, your belonging, enjoy with them. And also you are making plan for next life, right? So if you share your belongings, things, or your knowledge or your experience, share with someone, that means you are making plan for next life, right? I think everybody have I'm not sure everybody, many of you have the insurance plan, right? Insurance plan. Why? When I get sick, it can be useful, right? So that means when you practice generosity, when next life, it can be very useful. You can have all the resource, because you give away the resource for this life, then you can have a good resource in next life. Then second, step by step, if you are not able to practice generosity, then do you remember, you are not able to practice ethical discipline, right? Ethical discipline. So do you remember how the connection, if you are able to practice generosity, you are able to practice ethical discipline. If you are not able to practice generosity, then you're not able to practice morality, ethical discipline. Do you remember the reason? Why? Grasping to the oppression. Yeah, grasping towards the resource, grasping towards the house. When you have a grasping, then you need more. You need more. When you need more, then, for example, when you see a beautiful object, when you see something nicer, when you see something good, then you have a sense of clinging to the object. Then, slowly you're not able to get the object. Then slowly we need to steal the object. Then it's totally against, right? Against. That means make sure there's order. Then step number 3, practice of patience. Practice of patience. That means, look at, if you don't have a sense of attachment towards your possessions or yourself or your house or place, then somebody takes something from you, you never get upset and angry, right? Because you don't have a sense of attachment. Then do you remember how many types of ethical disciplines? How many types of ethical discipline? 3. What are they? Restraint, right? Ethical discipline of restraint. Then ethical discipline of oh yeah, generate virtues. Number third,
acting for the welfare of living beings.
Acting of welfare of living being. Then when you practice, ethical discipline, step number 1, you always try to reduce, try to minimize, try to eliminate all the negative thoughts, right? Particularly, sense of hatred, sense of jealousy. You yourself try to minimize, try to eliminate, try to reduce. Step number 1. Step number 2, you're not just reducing your negative thoughts. Also, you are generating the virtues, right? Virtues. The generating virtues can be for yourself, can be for others. Then last, acting, right? Acting welfare for other beings. Then when you act, you always act, welfare for other beings, and somebody annoy you, somebody, show angry towards you, then you get you cannot get angry, right? That means step number 1. If you have a step number 1, you can have step number 2. When you have a step number 2, then it's very easy to have a step number 3. Right now, we are practicing, we are studying what? Patience, perfections of patience. Then make sure I always, always worry about the Dharma class. Because many times I said many times, so today is Saturday, is a weekend, is holiday. Even though, everybody, all of you have so many things to do today. You should think I must done this afternoon, must done in morning, must done in the evening. Still, you sacrifice everything and come to the Lamrim class. I'm very worried, very concerned how much you can get benefit from Lamrim class, how much you really learn, from Lamrim class. If you cannot get any benefit from Lamrim class, if you cannot learn anything from Lamrim class, that means, we wasting everything, we wasting the time, right? We wasting the time, I wasting your time, right? So that means just wasting time. Make sure each time when you come to the Lamrim class, make sure at least when you go back, after Lamrim class, make sure you have something in your mind, If you, after Lamrim class, if your mind is totally empty is no good. It's not good for you, not good for me. So when, after Lamrim class, at least you have something in your mind. That means you got something. So make sure you learn, something from Lamrim class. Not only learning, then make sure you are practicing day-to-day life. Because you are not going to be, some of maybe, most of you not going to be the lineage holder, right? You're not going to be the lineage holder of Lamrim. You're not going to be like a teacher who will teach Lamrim. Right? You're not going to be. Thus, you must learn in order to what? Practice yourself. That means you really need to make a reflection. Okay. Last year, I had this kind of knowledge about Dharma. After 1 year, I got more knowledge of Dharma, more knowledge about Lamrim. If you can see your knowledge about Dharma is increased, is very good, right? Then not only that, compare with last year and this year. So before I study Lamrim, before I attend the Dharma class, I was very short tempered. I was very angry person. I had strong attachment. I wasn't easy man, easy woman. I wasn't, easy person. After study Lamrim, after attend the Dharma class, if you feel, before I was very angry, now I am very soft, very compassionate, not very compassion. Last year, I was very difficult person, and I wasn't friend with many of my families. I wasn't friend with my co-worker. I just go in my workplace, walk and come back. I didn't have a lot of friends. After my study Lamrim Dharma, I have more friends. Many people become, friend with me. That means your mental altitude is changing in the positive way. Last time, I have a very strong attachment towards, everything. After study Lamrim Dharma, I have a less attachment. I have a less clinging about, my position, everything. That means you are studying Lamrim, also you are studying Dharma. At the same time, you are practicing Dharma and Lamrim. Just make sure whatever you learn, you practice. You should not, attend Lamrim or Dharma class in order to be the lineage holder. So, have you found is a bit changes in your mind? Can you see he is changed? Really? Can you see how it changed? Positive way, negative way? Positive way. Okay, that's really good. That's why I told you, right? So like when the husband and wife come to class, when husband get angry, remember Lamrim. Remember Lamrim class. And husband and wife get angry, upset, what happened Lamrim? Okay, now, then we don't have right who like always sleep together, like friends. Anyway, just think, you really, become better person, happier person, easy person. If your mentality is the same as before last year and this year, if there's no any, progress in your mind, that means you are just, wasting your time. That means you are not, enjoying the weekend. Okay, make sure. That's why, if you really feel, I'm happier person, I'm easy person, I have a more, the correct, right knowledge about Dharma. If you really feel, that means, it's good, right? This is good. Otherwise, just, make sure you don't waste your time. So, wasting time is, no good. Because when you waste time, you cannot bring back the time. Okay, now what we are studying about patience. Be patient is not easy, huh? It's not easy, not easy. So, in order to be, practice patience, at the beginning mentioned, you need to contemplate. You need to, meditate on, benefit of practice of patience, then falls of, and falls of impatience. You always think, if I practice patience, I can have all these benefits. If I am impatient, I will, have all these problems. So now we study about the division of patience. How many types of patience? 3. What are they? Don't look at your Lamrim. Okay. What's the number 1? Okay, number 2. Number 3. Yeah. Okay. Simply we can say, patience of disregarding harm done to you, patience of accepting suffering, patience of certitude about teaching. Look at now, it's a step by step again. So it's not easy to disregarding harm done to you, right? Then accepting suffering. Accepting suffering doesn't mean when you get headache, when you got stomach problem, when you have when you're sick, you should not think I'm accepting suffering. I should not go to see doctor. What does mean patient of accepting suffering is talking about the mental suffering. Then third one, certitude, right? Certitude, maybe certain about the teaching. So the first, disregarding harm done to you, then you very easy to, disregarding harm done to you, because when you really think the consequence of anger, then you able to disregard. Accepting suffering also quite easy. The third one, the certitude about teaching. So you can see many people first believe in Dharma. The people or the person is very excited, or they are very enthusiastic about study Dharma, listening, teaching, going to temple. Then slowly, the exciting, the enthusiasm going to reduce, become more weaker and weaker. Because why? Because the person cannot feel the taste of the teaching. Right? For example, when you go temple, every day you go temple, you lit the light, you burn incense, you do prostration, and you do some aspiration or some prayers, then you leave. You come back the next day, you do same thing. You have been doing the same thing for 1 year. After 1 year, then you think about, I went to this temple for 1 year. That means 300, how many days? 60? 360, right? Sumya Tukju. 360. 65. Tibetan have a Sumya Tukju, 360. Or 365. So within 1 year, how many candlelight you lit? 365. The incense, maybe usually you burn 2 sticks, right? That means how many? 600, 700, 30, right? Then prostration, how many? 3 times same thing, right? That means, I did this thing for 1 year. What I really got? Then, I accumulate merit, right? We believe, we accumulate merit, but we cannot see it, right? We cannot see it. Then you thought, I cannot see anything, it changes. So then people slowly, go once a week. First year, go every day. Second year, once a week. Third year, once a month. 4 years, maybe during the New Year. Right? Why? They stop to go every day. The person cannot see, the benefit to visit temple. Because the person cannot feel the taste of the Dharma. If the people really feel the taste of, the Dharma, then the people go every day temple, maybe, 2 times a day. For example, let's say in Singapore, what is the popular like a supermarket? Enthusiast, right? Enthusiast, okay. It's not really, you can feel the exciting. There's nothing exciting, right? I think you get upset. you buy so many things, you can see the bills. Let's say, the interesting one, garden by the bay, right? Garden by the bay is very nice. If you really go there, you can see the beautiful flower, that so nice, so beautiful. When you really feel, wow, it's so nice, so beautiful. When I go there, I feel so happy, right? Full happy. The next time you wish to go again. If you don't feel the happiness in the garden by the bay, next time you won't go, right? That's why we must go to temple, but most important, you need to feel the taste of the Dharma. You need to feel the Dharma. How you can feel the tasty of Dharma? How? Through practice. For example, you are a very difficult person. You are a very short-tempered person. Then you practice patience for 1 hour every day. Then maybe 2 hours every day. Finally, you feel it. Oh, now I don't have a short temper. Now I don't have a really, there is that strong angry, right? Anger. Then you can feel, the tasty of meditation or compassion, right? Then you really always happy to practice patience. If you don't feel the tasty, the benefit of patience, then you won't practice patience. Right? That's why everybody really need to not just visit the temple. In order to continuously go to temple, you need to feel the benefit. You need to feel the benefit of practice of patience, practice of morality, practice of so and so. This feeling you can have when you do meditation. Just knowledge, only knowledge. You cannot, if you have only knowledge about Dharma, if you have only knowledge about Lamrim, it increases what? Your ego. Increase your ego. Oh, I'm better than him. I'm better than her. Oh, I know the Lamrim. I know, Mahayana practice. I know. That means increase your ego. It's no good. That means we must have a, better knowledge, perfect knowledge, lot of knowledges, but we must practice. We must use every day your daily basis. You must use every day. When you get upset, use Dharma. When you get angry, use Dharma. When you feel so tired, mentally tired, also you use Dharma. Then you really can feel, the benefit of Dharma. Then you never give up practice of Dharma. If you don't practice, if you don't meditate on Dharma, then slowly you're going to give up, Dharma or Lamrim. This because you can see when you go East Coast Park, in the East Coast Park next to the river or ocean, next to you can see they throw so many statues. Many people throw statues, Buddha statue, Kongyan. Last time somebody we moved here, and somebody left the Kongyan statue next to the road. They know we're going to collect. Also, when you walk around, the next to the ocean, or you can see, people throw away statue or picture, holy object. Someone throw away because, for example, the parents believe in Dharma. The parents or father or mother pass away, the children are not interested. They throw away. Someone, they practice, they believe in Dharma. This is due to certain reason. They thought, Dharma is no good, Buddha no good. They throw away. Why they feel is no good? Because they don't feel that the benefit of Dharma. So you have to be, everybody have to feel. We have to be, must test. We must have the test of the Dharma. Then we never going to give up practice of Dharma, right? That means third one, in order to have a certitude about the teaching on Dharma, that means you must know that teaching is very important. Teaching is very important. Why, the teachings are very important? Do you remember the benefit of listening teaching? Right? How to listen the teaching, the benefit of teaching. The teaching is, there's so many benefit, one important one. The teaching is so important because it give you, temporal happiness. It give you the lasting happiness. Right? So lasting happiness refer to the Buddhahood, the complete, happiness. So, in order to overcome, uncertain about the teaching, then you need to know that teaching is very important. Right? Of course, money, job, house, everything is very important. Those are important for only this life. Next life become useless. Right? Everything become useless. Next life, but even though you have a very expensive car this life, due to your karma, if you reborn again in Singapore, you have to buy new car. You cannot use the old car. You cannot use your old house. Dharma, you use in the past life, you still use in this life. You can use next life. That means Dharma is, go with you. So next one, there's 3 types of patience. The number 1, we study little bit patience of disregarding harm done to you. We just turn over page number 60. There's a lot of headings. We just go in the last paragraph. On analysis of whether the object has self-control, anger is unjustified. Okay? Object mean what? So you get angry. Right? You get angry and upset. The person who make you angry, the person is object of anger. Right? So when you get angry towards whom? The person or the object? Right? This is talking about the subject. Sorry, object. So what is the subject? Subject can be the person. Subject can be the anger. Anger is subject. Object is the, who you angry. Angry to the object, angry to the person. Analysis of whether, whether the object has self-control, then anger is unjustified. It's 2 parts. Analyze, thinking what will be a reasonable ground of anger towards, harmed over. Whereupon you may think, they first had the thoughts of wanting to harm me. That means you really angry towards person. Then why? You should thought, then we think, first the person has a thought. The person have a motivation to harm me. Right? Harm me. Then prepare the methods. Then the person think, I should harm to the person. Then the person do preparation. Then either prevented my happiness or inflicted, unpleasant physical or mental suffering. It's easy to understand, right? Easy to understand. That means, let's say, we everybody, the example, Mr. A, okay, we everybody very angry with Mr. A. Then we are very angry. Why we are angry? So we must look the reasonable, the correct reason why we are angry with Mr. A. Because Mr. A harm us. How he, she, how Mr. A harm us? First, Mr. A has a plan, thoughts. We should harm, Mr. A thought I should harm us. Then Mr. A do preparation. Through two reason, motivation, preparation, then prevented our happiness. This means makes us suffering, inflicted unpleasant physical or mental suffering, right? That means maybe Mr. A beat us, or Mr. B use lot of bad word, then we get angry, right? So many anger is justifies. Are you angry because the inflicted harm while they had the self-control not to harm you? Or are you angry because they were utterly without any self-control and hurt you while helpless, right, impaired by something else? Now they ask two questions, right? Why you angry towards Mr. A? There's a two reasons, right? Are you angry, right? Angry because they inflicted harm while they had the self-control not to harm you. Do you know the meaning? Do you know the meaning? Right? That means, they harm, for Mr. A harm us. He harm us because he has a control. He has a control not to harm. Right? He has a control. He has a control not to harm. Number two, I'm angry because we are very angry towards Mr. A because utterly without self-control. There's a two reasons, right? Now we need to think two reasons. He has a control to not harm us, or he has a no control to harm us. There are two reasons. Then now you go one by one. In the former case, which one is former case? Control what? Control what? Not harm. Control not to harm. Okay, control not to harm. Then your anger is unjustified because those who inflict harm do to have control over themselves. For when the condition and cause, this is make sure when you read the sentence, it's a bit confusion because the person says, we said we are very angry towards Mr. A because Mr. A harm us. He harm us having control not to harm. Not to harm. This is the reason, right? This is the reason. You can say simply, the person harm us even though he can control the anger. He can control not to harm. Not to harm. This is the reason, right? Then what says here Tsongkhapa? When the condition and cause cease, live by reflection to which they were previously habituated, nearby object. There's three things, right? Three things. Number one, the cease, right? When the condition, the case, the cease left by affliction of which they were previously. That means the person, Mr. A, has a cease to arise anger, to harm us. Cease. The cease, left by emotion, afflicted, thoughts. When the previous life, or previous yesterday or day before. Second, nearby object, right? Previously habitude, nearby object. Third one, erroneous conception. This thing is very important, okay? Affliction to which they were previously habituated. Second, nearby object. Third is erroneous conception. Is explain how all the negative thoughts arise. For example, if you don't have any kind of habit to drink beer, okay, beer. If you don't have any experience to drink beer, if you don't have any experience the taste of beer, when you see the beer, how do you feel? Nothing. If you have a habit or experience the taste of beer, when you see, what do you think? I want to drink, I want to buy, right? Even though you have a, habit to drink beer, if you cannot see the beer, then you cannot feel really, I want to drink. The object, right? Object nearby. The third one, erroneous conception. What does mean? Mistaking thoughts. Then look at, for example, when we get angry toward Mr. A, number one, we have a, habitat, which is, we have an imprint, which is we left by, affliction emotion. Then the object, Mr. A, is there. Third, we have a mistaking concept. We have a mistaking thoughts. That's why anger arises. That means when Mr. A harm us, he harm us without having control not to harm. Clear? That means all the the emotions, negative emotion arise with the three conditions. What are they? Three conditions. The seeds left by affliction thoughts which they were previously habitated. Number two, nearby object. Number three, conception. Whenever you get negative thoughts, you should think three. One, I have the seeds which is left by in the previous life. Number two, the object is there. The most important one, I have a misconception. Then this is the how the negative thoughts arise. Come together, they give rise to the thoughts to harm. Even though the harm doer do not think, I will feel malice, right? Whereas their cause and condition are not complete, they will never produce the thoughts to harm. Let me look at when somebody harm you, somebody really stop, prevented your happiness. Instead of having anger, instead of be angry, instead of be angry, what? Be compassion. Right? Be compassion. Instead of having negative thoughts, we must have a positive thought. Feel sorry that time the person harm us because all this condition, right? Then look at, I will feel malice. The cause and condition produce the desire to harm. This is turn produce walk the harming. Second case, in the latter case, right? You are angry because the harm doer are utterly without any self-control and being helplessly impelled by the something else that hurt you, then your anger is totally unjustified. Right? Then for instance, it's very important for us. For instance, some people who have been possessed by demons and have come under the control may wish to hurt those who are help them to get free of their demon, and thereupon beat them, etc. However, their helper think they do this because the demons have eliminated their ability to control themselves and do not have even the slightest anger towards them. Right? They then strive to best of their ability to free them from their demons. Likewise, same thing, right? When Bodhisattva are hurt by other, many people say, oh, Bodhisattva get angry, right? You can see, Bodhisattvas are hurt by other, they think they do this because the demon of the affliction have eliminated the ability to control themselves. Without being even the slightest, a bit angry with the possession, they then must generate the spirit of enlightenment. thinking I will struck the Bodhisattva, this in order to free them from the affliction, according to Aryadeva. Now there's one example, the one person is, try to harm you, try to use so many bad words, because the person is controlled by whom? Demons. Then the doctor, the helper, the relatives, try to help the person. The person harm you. You use very bad word. That moment, are you going to angry with the person? No. The person is totally, lost control. He is controlled by whom? The demon. Same. Demon here refer to what? Afflict emotions. The person refer to whom? The person who harm us. Right? Then the helper is look like, we are a helper. We really wish the person who make us angry, we wish the person free from afflictive emotions. Clear? Then the word is so important. Just as a doctor does not, can you read for me? Everybody together.
Just as the doctor does not fight but helps, patients who are possessed by spirits, though they get angry, so the sage sees that afflictions are at fault, not the persons who have the afflictions.
Okay, this is very important. All the words come from Bodhisattva. This is very beautiful, very useful. This is very useful. His Holiness always quoted this one. Repeat one more.
Just as the doctor does not fight but helps, patients who are possessed by spirits, though they get angry, so the sage sees that afflictions are at fault,
Not the person who have the afflictions. Then look at, when somebody make you angry, when you are not happy, then you dislike the person. You dislike the person. Then you just repeat this sentence. The last one, not the person who have the afflictions. It's true, right? It's really true. The next one, the Master Chandrakirti also states, what is? Can you read for me?
This is not living being's fault, rather it is the fault of the afflictions. So the learned analyze and do not fight with others.
Okay, look at, this is not the living being false. This is not the faults of Mr. A. Rather, it is the faults of the afflictions. So, learn, analyze, and do not fight with other. Other means refer to the being. The Simjan Kumenji Dinu Nyumokin, number Jana Kenam Simjan dollar 2 measures. Number Tabe Kenam Simjan dollar 2 measures, Jesumba, Junior Republic, no, those are the. So, next look at all the many resignings are set for the engaging Bodhisattva deeds. It is easy to certain of this one, and it is very powerful remedy for anger. Okay, so this is very important. Plus, you just repeat this sentence few times when you get angry. It's really going to help to reduce the angers. Okay, we can have a tea break. So the sentence which is we just read, right? Actually, in the Tibetan word, just as a doctor does not hurt, right? H-U-A-R-T, hurt or harm, but help. It's a fight. In Tibetan say, Toyon Jumbo Zumwala member Tukba means do not harm or do not hurt, but helps. The next one, so the sage sees the affliction or fault. And Tibetan would say, sage see the afflictions are the enemy, not the person. And again, the last one, Chandrakirti. And do not fight fight. And also in Tibetan is said, should not harm, should not get angry. Just not simply say false. Okay, this part is talking about, when somebody harm us, that means we should not get angry. Because when the person harm us, they harm us with the having control or not having control. When you think the person can harm us, even though he or she has a control, not to harm, that means it's not good reason, because the person who harm you, the person doesn't have a control not to harm. That means they don't have a control because there's a three condition. There's a seeds, there's an object, there's a what? Erroneous conception. The second one, also the person doesn't have any, control. That's why, the anger is totally unjustified, right? Next one, page number 162. If this being has self-control, right, that means the person doesn't have any control who harm us. If the person has a control to harm us, that means this also not true. They would not have any suffering because they would not want suffering and because they could control it. If somebody harm us, if the person harm us, even though the person has a self-control, the person has a control, to control the anger. That's not true because they would not have any suffering because they would not want suffering because they control it. That means, so for example, somebody think, I want to harm the person, then do preparation. This thought, the person harm us. Before the person harm us, the person already in suffering, right? For example, before you go, before you really have an argument with your friends or someone, before you really using all the bad words, you have all the plan. So before you meet the person, for example, you are going to go argument with someone from your house to the workplace. It takes 20 minutes, 40 minutes. So during the 40 minutes, you are totally in suffering, right? You are totally suffering. You cannot breathe properly. You can see your heart is beating so fast. So before you harm other person, you are already in suffering. That means if the person has a control not to harm us, is not true. Because the person doesn't want any suffering. If they doesn't want suffering, then why the person think I want to harm us, right? Furthermore, you should stop your anger by also thinking when the being are moved by strong afflictions, they commit suicide. It's talking about the doer who harm you. When the being are moved by strong afflictions, it can be attachment, can be desire, can be ignorance. Somebody harm us due to attachment. Somebody have an attachment towards your belonging, the person harm you. Somebody has an attachment toward your body, the person harm you. Or somebody have anger towards you, they harm you. Harm by afflictions. It can be anything. And even though the person get very angry, the person not happy due to the anger. Then the person what do? The person they commit suicide themselves, right? Commit suicide. Live from cliff, like jump. They harm themselves with the thrown weapon and stop eating and so forth. You can see many people, they harm themselves. They stop eating. If they do this to even their greatly crush and dear self, of course they will hurt others. Then we should think, the person is harming us because the person is not happy. The person is totally controlled or totally moved by, afflict emotions, afflict like anger, attachment, desire, then the person themselves, harming themselves in a different way. Of course, then they harm us, right? That means, instead of having, angry towards the person, must have a compassion. The next word here, can you everybody read together first sentence?
Thus, everything is dependent on something else, and because that in turn is dependent, it is not autonomous. Understanding this, do not be angry, and anything, all things being like
illusion, right? Teta thamje yengi wang, ti wang ke te wang me, teta shena dulta ngobo gola thumecha. That means, everything is dependent on something. When the person when the person harm us, he harm us depend on something. Depend on what? Depend on afflictions, right? So that means when they harm us, they harm because of he or she has all the negative thoughts. And that time the person is not autonomous. Autonomous means not free, not independent, not free to do. This means next one. Therefore,
doing what is wrong, think this arises from certain conditions and remain happy. If all things could achieve results according to their wish, then since no one was suffering, no one would suffer.
okay, those are, everything, all words come from, Shanti Devas. That means whoever harm us, the person doesn't have any control. The person totally lost control. The person lost control because the person, the mind is totally controlled by attachment, anger, ignorance. Ignorance, right? Ignorance. This means, in the future, if somebody harm you, or somebody say a very bad thing about you, or somebody do something bad to you, you should always remember, that time the person is totally lost control. He or she doesn't have any control. Her mind is totally moved or controlled by afflictions. Right? The next one, on analysis of either advantageous or inherency, anger is unjustified. So this word is very important in Buddhism. Advantageousness, inherency. Advantageousness means is arise certainly, not the naturally. Inherency is more like nature. Anger is justified. The faults of the doing harm to other either is or is not in the nature of the living being. If it is in the nature, it is wrong to get angry, just as it is wrong to get angry as a fire for being hot and burning. Similarly, it is the advantageous. It is also wrong to be anger, just as when smoking at the light appear in the sky. So when people hurt you, when people do something bad about you, we need to think, this is the person nature, or it is is advantageous, or it is inherence. You need to think two reasons, right? If the person harm us, the person always say very bad thing about us, this is his or her nature. If it's the nature, then what? There's no reason, reason to be angry to the person, because this is the person nature, right? Nature. You can see among your friends or your family or your someone that somebody always be negative. This means the person nature is look like very, very negative. The person nature is very negative. The person always say very bad thing, right? They never say good thing. When the person always say bad thing, why you are get angry? Because this is the person nature. Person nature. So this is so important. Any time even though within your families, within your brother, sister, or relatives, or co-workers, or neighbors, you should always try to understand the person nature. Okay. If the person nature is bit negative, or the person is a short temper, nature is short temper, then the person very easy to get angry, very easy to get agitation, right? Then if somebody that person say very strange thing to you, then what do you think? Oh, just forget. This is person nature. This may look like fire. When you touch the fire, it burn you. When you burn you feel suffering. That time are you angry with the fire? No, because the fire nature is hot. When you touch, it will burn. Second one, advantageous, right? Advantageous. Example was here what? Appear smoke at the light appear in the sky. Is very important. For example, today the weather is very nice, right? Very cool, very nice. If the cool, weather is in nature of the sky or not, no, it's not in nature. It's kind of advantageous. It's random. Look like random. Are you very happy with this weather? No. Tomorrow will be hot. If the weather is hot tomorrow, are you very unhappy? No. It will change. Right? That means, when you have a strong argument with someone, you should not get angry and upset. You should think this is, smoke in the sky. After a few hours, the anger going to disappear. Then you again become friend with the person. You should not think that, the anger is the nature of the person. It's come and go. Then Buddhist what they say, in doing harm to other. Can you read together?
Doing harm to others is natural for the childish. It is wrong to get angry at them, just as it is at fires burning nature. Still, if the fault is advantageous, and the nature of being is good, my anger is wrong, just as it is anger at the smoke's appearance in the sky.
Yeah, that means, all the angry person, all the harm doer look like a childish, like children, like childish. So childish, what we look at childish means, generally, compared with the elder people and child, like a child, the older people is, experienced, they know more, they have a lot of good understanding that children doesn't have, right? Children doesn't have. Then also childish. For example, children, when you give something, gift, when you give us a gift, the children become very easy to happy, very easy to be happy. When you say, will you give little bit, like bad thing, also the children very easy to get upset. That means all the negative thoughts are look like this, look like child. When you add some kind of extra good qualities, this means attachment arise. When you manage, the good quality, the anger very easy to arise, right? Arise. That's why here the previous words. What do you call the English word? Erroneous conception. That means when attachment arises within your mind, how we arise? When there's an object is there, we have a habit to look like a beautiful object. Then second, we have we put extra quality. The extra quality we put based on the misperception. Right? That means all the negative thoughts are look like a child, like a children, childish, not, there's no really, proper or standard foundation to remain there. That means you should not get angry, upset if somebody harm you, because when they harm, they have a thoughts to harm. The thoughts of harm is just, is look like, smoking in the sky. Think this way, then you reduce anger. Or you think, the thoughts of harming other is look like nature of the person, then you should not get angry. For example, when you see, the mad person on the street, the person is totally mad. And when the person become mad, totally mad, the person can say anything, right? Can say anything. When we just, instead of having anger to the, mad person, we should have a sense of compassion. Next one, on the analysis of whether the harm is direct or indirect, anger is unjustified. So why, if you are angry at the agent of harm, agent means again the doer, they directly, inflict the harm, you will have to be angry at the stick, right? So you are angry with the person because the person harm you, right? Then you must have an angry towards the stick. When the person, harm you with the stick, then you must angry with the stick. The stick is actually, the direct cause to get hurt you. Just as you are at the person, just as you are at the present. If you are angry at the harm doer who indirectly inflict harm, then just as a person, right? Yes. Persons impulse the stick and so forth do the harm. So hostility impulse the person. That means if somebody harm by stick, if you get angry the direct object, that means you must angry with the stick. The stick is the direct object to harm you. Somebody harm you with a knife. The knife is the direct object who harm you. Then you must have angry to the knife. Second, no, I'm not going to get, angry to the knife because the person is the main agent to harm you. Then same thing, the anger is look like the person, indirectly, you really harm by the affliction or anger. So that means you should not have angry with the person, you should have angry with the anger, right? The next one, analysis of the cause, the impulse, the harm doer, anger is unjustified. That means if you think, so you are angry with the person, then you need to think about how the person harm you. Again, the person harm us because the person harm us. The person really caused to harm you, right? That means then again, think about the cause of the anger. Then anger actually you harm you, then you should not get angry with the person, you should get angry with the cause of the person, cause of the angry. The expression of suffering produced by those who harm does not occur causelessly, right? Or from discount cause of it. It occurs from the condensed cause. Again, this is very important to think about. The person harm us. The person harm us because the harming must come from cause or condition, must come from causeless. We need to think two different ways, right? Causeless. Timbigiru chunga tizong migale mishin techi rangi la ba jan to me rang to sen go chao sen it's a bit complex The experience of suffering produced by those who harm does not occur causelessly, number one, or from the discordant cause. Causeless means is come by nothingness. Then from discordant means the discordant means what does mean? Discordant cause. Not, for example, you feel cold. What you need? You need a warm. You need a heater. You need a warm clothes. You feel cold. Still, you using the, like air condition. Is the not the similar? It is not the right cause to be, make you warm. This means if you feel cold, you need a warm. When you need a warm, you need to look the similar condition, which is like warm clothes, like a heater. Discontent means you are looking happiness, but you are searching the cause which is make you unhappy. Okay, this is in Tibetan we say mithun bigyu mean it's not similar cause and effect. Discordant cause. So it is occur from condensed cause, that is to say from the non-virtuous actions you have do in the past. Therefore, harm doer are helplessly impulsed to do harm by the power of your karma. That means it's talking about the so you harm them in the previous life. Then you have the karma which you accumulated in the previous life. Now the karma you are experience the result of the karma. Right? Then another sentence here. Now I think next until all the way to analyzing commit reflection of the praise of the reflection of the past. Right now we are talking about mainly which one? The first patient, which is disregarding. What? Disregarding harm to you. That means you totally be disregard. If anybody harm you, then you think all the reason. The second patient, what is the second patient? Patient of accepting suffering. Now turn page number 172. Because all of them is very similar. There's nothing I can explain. There's no really difficult thing you cannot understand. Let's reflect on the good quality of suffering. Suffering has 5 good qualities. So how is come? This is not in the Lamrim class here. Yeah. Okay. Now developing the passion of accepting suffering. It has 3 parts. What are they?
You must definitely accept suffering. Only to develop acceptance, a clear explanation from the viewpoint of the basis.
Yeah. Now I need to find the Tibetan one. Dunga Tanglen Zogyade, okay. Dunga Tanglen Ngebardo Kube Gyusen. The reason you must definitely accept suffering. So, the way to develop acceptance. Third one, the detailed explanation from the point of view of the basis. The reason you must definitely accepting suffering, that means there's a sentence by Shantideva, right? The cause of the happiness sometimes occur, whereas the cause of suffering occur frequently. Okay, Dunga Devi Yune Rengaji Dunga Yune Shindumang. Now also this sentence is very important because most of the time we say I'm not happy. They're not happy, right? Not happy because the cause of happiness sometimes occur sometimes, not always. Then we have most times say we are not happy, I'm not happy because the cause of suffering occur frequently. That means if you really feel, I'm not always happy, that means the cause of, suffering always occur within your mind. If you feel, I'm, always happy, that means the cause of the happiness, occur continuously or frequently. So what is the cause of the happiness? So what are the cause of happiness? What are the cause of suffering? Happiness? What are the cause of happiness? Huh? Okay, simply, if you count, then you can, missing something. Simply, you can say the cause of happiness is the mind, positive mental altitudes or positive mind. The cause of suffering is the what? Negative altitudes. I'm not talking very detailed, okay? Look at, when you have a positive mental altitude, it make you happy right there. When you have a always positive mental altitude, then you can make other people happy. If you have a negative altitudes, mental altitudes, if you have a negative thoughts, first you make you unhappy, second make other people unhappy. That means why someone is not happy all the time? Because also you can say, maybe there are some external condition. For example, I'm not happy all the time because I'm very unhappy all the time because I have a physical problems, right? I have a sickness. I don't have a job. I don't have a beautiful or nice house. You can blame for the external condition, but even though you are putting reason, I don't have a house, therefore I'm not happy, right? When you think I don't have a house, you can put the not having house is the reason to be unhappy, right? Even though if you control your the negative altitudes, not having house, even though you don't have a proper the nice house, still you can be happy. If you say I'm not happy because I don't have the proper or beautiful house, it doesn't mean when you have a proper the big beautiful house, are you be happy? Not necessary. That means everything in your mind. If you control your mind, you can be happy with the very simple house. Just think about 60 years ago, 70 years ago, what Singapore was look like. What Singaporean, all the Singaporeans look like what? I think everybody has a simple house except the wealthy family. Everybody had simple house. Everybody were happy with a simple house. Now, everybody has a big house with the air condition. I don't think that time they has air condition. They use the hand fan, right? Who has the money, they can buy the fancy one. who doesn't have a money, just use the plate or paper, right? Still, they had a happy life. How? Because one, you can think, oh, they really don't know how to develop the country, how to have a big house. No, but they content, with the simple house, content with the simple food. That means they control their mind, then they can be happy. The best example I gave you a few times, for example, the Tibetan who lives in India right now, is very big difference. It's not ruler, Singaporean became refugee, go to Malaysia, right? Then you can speak English. You have a common language to use in Malaysia, Indonesia, everywhere you have a common language. The Tibetan, when they, came to India, there's no common language they can use between Indian and Tibetan. No, the Tibetans speak only Tibetan. The Indian people cannot speak Tibetan. There's no common language. Number one. Number two, the weather condition is totally different. They live in high mountain. Weather is so cool. No mosquito, no snake, nothing. Very peaceful. When you come to India, weather is so hot. So hot. Lot of, insect harm them. Number third, the food. Also totally different food. When you go to Malaysia or Indonesia, you can have a similar food which you are eating here. Even though they didn't speak in Hindi language, weather was so bad, food wasn't good, it's totally new for them. Even though when they move India, historically, you can see nobody, took a suicide. Nobody. Because they accept the reality, they know this is the, I must accept. India, I should not think I can have the cool weather as a Tibet. You should not think India, I can eat the yak meat every time. Cannot. They accept the reality, and they control the attachment about their food in Tibet, attachment about the weather. They try to adjust their mind as an Indian. Then, slowly, everything is okay. That means, if you're able to control your attachment, anger, desire, even though you have a simple house, you can be happy. If you're able to control your negative thoughts, you can be happy with a very simple food. You can see somebody has a big house. They have everything, but they are more, unhappy than you. Then happiness and suffering is mainly depend on, your mentality, the way of, how you can see, how you can think. That's why this, is talking about mainly analysis, the reason you must definitely accept suffering. Then, the cause of the happiness sometimes occur, where the cause of suffering occur frequently. That means the positive mental attitude, the positive way of thinking is the source of happiness. The negative mentality, the negative way of thinking is the source of unhappiness. That's why we have lot of negative mental attitude. That's why we always complain. We always feel unhappy. We always feel I don't have enough. If you're not able to control your desire, you never ever have enough. You never ever have enough things. Enough things, never, because your desire is so strong. You cannot fulfill what you want. If you control your desire, then you can be happy with the simple things. That's why this is very important. The cause of happiness sometimes occur, where the cause of suffering occur frequently. Do you remember beginning of the Bodhisattva way of life? I think chapter they're talking about lightning in the darkness. Right? For example, the whole area is totally darkness. suddenly you can see the lightning, just short light. So that means, we have all the negative thoughts. All the negative thoughts is look like darkness. Due to, power or due to our karmic connection, certainly we can see the light, short time. That means, so due to our previous karma, due to our, luck, then we can see, sometimes this is positive, I must do. I must have this kind of positive mental attitude. This kind of positive mental attitude we can have very short time. That's why it's so important. The cause of happiness sometimes occur. If you want, lot of happiness, what you need? You need lot of, cause of happiness. If you don't want suffering, then you need to reduce what? The cause of suffering. You should not occur the cause of suffering frequently. Okay? So, I think we stop here. Next, we are going to finish the patients. They spend just one class with Joyce Perseverance. Oh, it's a lot of pages, huh? Because I want to move to the patient, the mindfulness, right? Because I thought today we should have a short time for meditation about anger. Okay, next class we're going to finish, the patience. Then we can have 2 classes about the Joyce Perseverance, right? Joyce Perseverance. Then we can move to the mindfulness. So when we study about mindfulness, then we really go very slowly. Particularly wisdom chapter, we will spend a lot of time. Okay, so before we do the meditation, does anybody have any question, related to this topic, or any question? We should have a little bit discussion.
Does luck plays a part in our practice? Does luck plays a part in our practice?
Does luck play
A part in our practice?
We can say good luck.
Whatever luck.
Luck then?
Does it play a part in our practice?
Okay, actually, many people say, oh, it's your good luck, right? Good luck. Or the good luck in Buddhist refer to the, I think, good karma. It's not nothing. Say, oh, it's good luck. It's just drop off from sky. Yeah, good luck, good virtues is very important. It play very important roles, right? Because within the 7-limb practice, then what? The third one. What is the number 3rd of within the 7-limb practices? 7-limb practice, confession, right? Confession. So, in order to have a good practice, the big obstacle is the negative karma. So, if you are able to eliminate negative karma, not just eliminate the negative karma, at the same time you need to accumulate positive karma, right? I told you the positive karmas are look like strength. The wisdom is look like the sharp. Even though the knife has a very good sharp, it's not that heavy, not enough heavy, you cannot cut the tree. That means you must be very wise person. You must have a right knowledge At the same time, you must accumulate, positive karma. Yes, positive karma. That's why I think one of the Indian masters said, you can achieve whatever you want if you have enough positive karma. Positive karma. You can achieve your wish, whatever you wish to achieve, you can achieve when you have enough positive karma. Yes, positive karma play a very, very important role to your practice. Any question? Yes?
Because I hear from the teachings that we have to control. But I thought control this word, if the attitude is really just to control our anger, control this and control that, one day it can burst. In that sense, So I don't know whether really the control is what kind of control, because some people may control their anger, at the end they just burst. Yeah. So I thought maybe like practicing the awareness, the mindfulness, basically
Yes.
it's possible to be like, you still get angry, but you're angry with really mindful in that sense, and not just, because control at the end, it can be a very negative like suppression.
Yeah. Okay. So control, look at, for example, the uncontrolled mind, right? Uncontrolled mind or the tamed mind, right? Untamed mind, uncontrolled mind look like, do you remember? Look like what? The wild elephant. Elephant. So exactly wild elephant or like monkey. So how we control the elephant, right? How we control elephant? It doesn't mean you just tie the elephant with the strong change or strong rope. You cannot. If you tie the elephant, how long you can tie it, right? Controlling mind is not look like you just suppress, right? Suppress the anger. No. Control being anger means you must know the consequence of anger. Also, you must know the consequence of compassion. Then, when you really know this is the consequence of anger, then you must know the consequence of anger is the positive or negative. Positive or negative. Then, based on your experience, the consequence of anger is always you feel is very bad, very negative. That means how we can control anger. First, you think if the anger let it arise, it always give me the best bad consequence. Then how I can control? That means first I told you many time. Actually, everything arises step by step. There's a order. There's a sequence. For example, 0 degree to 1 degree, 1 to 2, 2 to 10, 10 to 50, 50 to 100 is go 100 all the way to 100. So you then the awareness is very important. You must feel it. Oh, the anger is arising. Then you control. How to control? You just remember whom you get angry. The person. Then just remember the person. Instead of having anger, generate compassion to the person. That means you generate the person. If you don't generate the compassion to the person, then anger becoming more stronger, increase. Okay, that means step number 1, remember the consequence of anger is very bad. You really need to know is really bad. Now you need awareness, aware the anger is arising. Then step number 3, you should remember, you should aware whom I get angry, right? Yes, I'm angry, getting angry towards this person. Then suddenly you should think, generate compassion. instead of having anger. And also you should, why I'm getting angry person, then all the reason, no self-control, everything arises with the so and so. Then finally what Buddha said, you should not, do you remember the sentence by Shantideva? You should not get angry to the person, you should get angry towards the affect emotion. You should not think the person is bad. You should think the afflictions are bad. And also, many people think controlling anger is just look like, diverse, right? Diverse the thoughts. So, for example, if you are not happy, you just, you can listen music, or you just go and for a walk. You just drink a coffee. You just have some beautiful things. Do some beautiful thing. Suddenly, look like that your mind become calm. That means you are not controlling anger. You are diverse your thoughts. This is not good way. At the short term is good. If you really want to control, you should not do this. You just recognize the anger. Use the direct force to reduce anger. That means controlling anger is mainly reducing. How to reduce is so we are not totally surprise the anger. If you always surprise, you cannot. One day you brass, right, is come out. Yes, any question? Yes?
Why will thinking that a negative person only say negative thing and so I won't get angry? I don't understand this.
Sorry? Okay. Can you repeat the question?
You said, why should we get angry if this person's nature is always negative? So the person will always say bad things, right? So with this logic, then if this person scold me, I should not get angry.
Yeah. Why you get, for example, let's say Mr. A is always, the Mr. A nature is very negative. His nature is negative. His mentally, he's always think about negative. Then, even though you always do the correct thing or correct way, even though the Mr. A always criticize to you, always say bad thing to you, then are you going to get angry to Mr. A? Why?
Because you criticize me, ma.
Yeah, criticize you, ma, because this is her nature law. This is her nature law.
But Mr. A won't be the same person to everybody, right?
No. Not same person. That's why, even though you can see, you are alone. All Singaporean, make you are alone in the Singapore. Rest of the Singaporean, you become your enemy. Let's say your enemy. This is also mentioned in the Bodhisattva. Even though that time you are alone, all other people become enemy with you. That also you should think, they are become enemy with me because they really don't like me. They really don't like me because, this kind of mental altitude is their nature. Their nature. If, the negative altitude is look like their nature, then there's no reason to get angry towards them. Then the example is what? The fire. Right? The fire naturally hot. When you touch, it's burn because this is their nature. Are you going to get angry to the fire? No, because the hot is the nature of the fire. If you touch, you burn. That means the person is very negative person. If you play or if you talk with the negative person, they always give you negative things. Then there's no reason to get angry to the negative person because this is, his or her nature law, as you say. Right? That's why you should think this way. But there's no, actually, there's no any person, always their nature is negative. No. If their nature is negative, then there's no reason to be angry to the person. But there's anybody their nature is negative. Also, many people say, "Oh yeah, I'm always angry because I'm born with the angry." Right? Many people say the person born with this kind of nature. No, Because everything we learn, step by step, slowly, then we get, be angry, be negative person. They look like, the negative person is look like the fire. When you burn by fire, you should not get angry to the fire. At the same time, same way, you should not get angry to the person because the person nature is very negative. Okay? Bit easy, bit more clear, still no?
The part about the fire part.
Okay. That means now you should think, the person who always make you angry, making angry to you, now you should, this is his or her nature, or he's just, he like smoking in the sky, look like. If you look like smoking in the sky, you should think, okay, I must be patient for a while. Then the smoking never going to stay in the sky forever. It's going to disappear. So this is what we can learn. Look, the smoke in the sky, you cannot see the clarity of the sky, right? You cannot see the clarity of sky. You should not agitate. Wait until the smoke disappear. That's mean when you have a problem with someone, so you always wait to have a right time. The person is very angry, upset. If you go and try to solve the problem, you cannot. So that's why you have to wait until you have the right time. Right? That means, second is, the person make you angry because that time the person mind is totally, controlled by angry. Look like smoke in the sky. Right? That's why you can see, doesn't matter how much strong argument with someone, you just be silent, be patient, don't say anything. Just be patient, be listen, then wait until you have a right time. Then you can explain, excuse me, you said this is not right. But then people say, yes, I'm sorry, right? Then people understand. Okay, any question?
What about, can you explain when some gurus or teachers use wrathful teaching?
Wrathful teaching?
Yes. So how they are trying to tame the mind of the students or disciples. How does the wrathfulness...
Okay. Their expression is wrathful. The mental is very calm. The mind is very calm. Expression is very wrathful. I think in order to know this one, I think we have to go through a lot of explain. Do you remember your mom really show you angry? I think many times, right? Your mom show very angry. Now you do think that time the mom really hurt you, right? Hurt you? No. When you look at the mom face, it's so scary. Right? So scary. It doesn't mean the mom really hurt you, right? There's all the wrathful, I'm not sure wrathful guru. What Tibetans said, if somebody really care you, really love you, if somebody really care you, somebody really love you, the person doesn't have any sweet words, right? Always have a what? Harsh word. The person really don't care you, don't really love you, they always use a sweet word. That doesn't care, let make you just happy. That's mean the wrathful expression is look like in order to be scared for us, in order to follow the rules, they show the wrathful expression. It doesn't mean that mentally the person is very wrathful. You can see, we have a Mahakali, when you open, you can see the statue look very scary, big eyes, mouth is open. Look at the Thara. Very peaceful, looks so nice. But the Mahakali, Palnelamu, they are just oneness, different expression. This means the mind is same. The physically look different. Okay? All the wrathful deities, you should think, look like when my mother get angry towards me. In the deep side, they love you, right?
But for this example, like for the guru with the students or the disciple, so it means that the guru and the disciple already have a deep connection in past life. Otherwise, how to be the mother? Because the student can be new to the teacher and suddenly the teacher just keeps scolding the student. So it's very hard to tame the mind.
No, actually, the relationship with guru and disciple, it can be happen. You already studied in the previous life. It can be new, what you call French relationship. It's not necessary, the teacher who you meet this life. It doesn't mean the teacher is already your, teacher in the previous life. It's not necessary. It is possible, not necessary. You can have a totally new teacher, or you can have a teacher who already have connection in the previous life. Taming mind is nothing to do with the, relationship, have a relationship in the previous life or not. For example, of course, you everybody have an English teacher, math teacher, science teacher. I don't think there are, math teacher in your previous life, science teacher in the previous life, but they teach you very well the science, math, language, history, right? The why the teacher we must have a connection in the previous life. It's not logical, right? Then another important, the Lamrim mentioned very clearly, right? If you wish to tend other people, first you tend yourself, right? Also, we recently studied about the ethical discipline. So before somebody let them ethically act, you must act ethically, right? So you should differentiate teacher who has an experience, teacher who doesn't have an experience. Okay, for example, I can be teacher without having any experience. So the teacher who has an experience about compassion, kindness, tolerance, mindfulness, experienced teacher can teach you through his or her own experience. This kind of teaching is very easy to understand, very easy to practice, because he or she teach you through experience. Some teachers can be teacher who has a lot of knowledge, not much experience, but you can listen, you can study. So difficult to practice. That's mean my men is saying there's not necessary the old teacher you can have a connection in the previous life. Not necessary. Any question? Other we can stop. No question, right? Okay, so again, so end of the Lamrim teaching, I really, urge you, because you, study properly, Lamrim, not only study, or you must practice, you must have a experience about what you learn. And also, please, try to be better person, happy person, try to have a less negative thoughts, try to have a lot of positive thoughts, day by day. So because now is ending of this year, ending of the 2017, right? I don't know, certainly 17. So end of the, ending of the 2017, everybody make a reflection about your study, reflection about your practice. If you found, yes, I have a better knowledge than the last year, I have a less confusion about Dharma than the last year, or I have a more calm mind than the previous than the last year. That's been you are moving into right direction. If you feel I don't have a better knowledge than the last year, I don't have any happy mind than the last year, I studied Dharma or studied Lamrim for 1 year, I don't have any changes in my mind. That means there's something wrong, or you are moving the wrong direction. So please, until the end of this month, everybody make a lot of reflection. Just go through your own analytical meditation. Okay, then also, if you really think, oh, I study Lamrim for 1 year, I cannot get any benefit, I cannot feel this, good thing, then I think stop to come to Lamrim class. Why are you wasting your time? Just walk around the supermarket, have a coffee or drink, and just enjoy. Really, it's very serious. Right? So that's why I really, end of the years, that's why I really urge you to study properly, to practice, make a reflection about your study and your practice, your meditation. Okay, so we do the dedication prayers.